Forbidden Sanctum in Path of Exile is maybe a little bit flawed, but it's definitely not busted in my opinion. From my personal experience, I would say that I've ran a lot of Sanctums in this league, and I can say that a lot of the time, the rewards aren't that amazing. What I mean by this is, when you feel excited, when you see that amazing drop, you feel like sharing it with your friends. You feel like uploading it to those YouTube compilation channels that have managed to share your content. You're excited, you want to share it with the world, and that's what the world sees. But whenever you have a bad Sanctum run, do you also feel like, oh, I died right now, oh, I can't wait to show this to the world? No. In a lot of these scenarios, we only see the good, but we don't really see the mediocre and the bad. That also gives us this false perception that something is, well, amazing, until we do it ourselves. Also consider this, whenever we invest around 200 divines towards a build, we would probably expect it to be, well, good, and also rewarding. We would like it to do rewarding content. The same thing applies to Sanctum. If we run Sanctum and we invest around 200 divines for room reveal relics or even more, well then we would probably expect that our return should be there quickly, and then again, that we manage to profit from it quite a lot. See, but then we have these keyboard warriors that keep mentioning that, oh, Sanctum is completely busted, and A, either they didn't do it themselves, or B, they did do it themselves, but they don't really realize that it still should be rewarding. You should manage to get those insane rewards. The example of Cute Dog, for example, dropping the 8 mirrors,
Clip it! Clip it right now!
Is an insane thing that has never happened in the game before. Just the sheer possibility of dropping 1 mirror is insane, but managing to get 8 out of a single thing that took you theoretically around 15 to 20 minutes, or for him probably a little bit longer because he was planning that a little bit. Still, it's an impossible feat to complete or recreate. Theoretically, somebody could do the math on how advanced it would be in order to get the same rewards as him. Now for the solution of this flawed mechanic, I would say that we need to diversify the loot pool. What I mean by diversifying the loot pool is this. For example, when we run any league mechanic in the game, there are certain exceptions. However, most league mechanics in the game also drop other league mechanic rewards. For example, Expedition also drops essences, or Ritual also drops scarabs, fragments, and other things. I think that this should also be implemented into Sanctum. Imagine this, you're running Sanctum, Divines and everything else now have a widened loot pool, meaning the percent chances already fell down because there's more loot in the loot pool. Imagine you drop a couple of good fossils. How about some winged scarabs? Maybe some Essence of Horror. These things could also be quite exciting rewards that would also be, well, rewarding in the end, especially if you manage to duplicate them, just like everything else. Also by this solution would also apply to SSF players and SSF hardcore players, because now Forbidden Sanctum could be utilized for everything else besides just raw currency. I think implementing something like that could be quite interesting, and it would still manage to be used for those types of players, and it also would be rewarding. I also think that the rewards at the end when we click the pillar should be like this. The worst reward should be at right now, which usually that is, but not always, especially with the two next parts, which is floor reward and then end of Sanctum reward. I think that that should be weighted towards different rewards. The most rewarding reward should only be at the end, not for example 1 divine at the end of floor and 2 divines when you finish the Sanctum. I think that divine should only be at the end of the Sanctum if we complete it. And then something less of a reward, something that is worthless but still exciting to take, for example, like I mentioned, 2 Essences of Horror. That would be also quite exciting to get at the end of the floor. It would manage that we would choose more different loot from the pillars themselves inside of the Sanctum, and also it would just make Sanctum feel a little bit better, more diversified, more different loot. For example, Heist has all different mechanics. It's a separate league mechanic than most things. Comparing Heist to, for example, Sanctum, is that Heist is barely on the Atlas passive skill tree, the same thing as Sanctum. The only thing that is different compared to Heist and Sanctum is that Sanctum isn't on the Atlas passive skill tree, but Heist is, and the only thing that you can get from Heist on the passive skill tree is actually just dropping blueprints and coins. Both of these league mechanics are theoretically dependent only on your build, besides the relics being also in Sanctum. And Heist, for example, has all kinds of different league rewards. Delirium rewards, raw currency rewards, blight rewards, fragmented items, synthesized items. There's so many different things that you can get from Heist, and for example, Sanctum only has currency. Imagine how many people would be running Heist if you could only get currency from it. And also imagine having a Sanctum, where you can also get 10 stack decks at the end of the Sanctum. I think by implementing more league mechanic or more rewards towards the Sanctum, once again, would widen the loot pool and the possibilities of drops and getting those really high tier rewards, which should be there. You should have this exciting aspect. You still should have this rush when you manage to get something incredible towards the end of the reward. But I also think that the other rewards should be exciting, because besides having Divines, Exalts in Forbidden Sanctum, the only third thing that is best to take are Annul Orbs or Chaos Orbs. Besides that, you have Orbs of Chance, Chromatic Orbs, and Fusings. Usually nobody takes that, and it's not really that exciting to get 20 Orbs of Fusings at the end of the floor. What would be more exciting is, for example, getting an Essence of Horror, maybe getting a Faceted Fossil, or maybe a Resonator. Who knows? There's so many different league rewards that you could implement into the game that would still make it exciting to get that reward, because most commonly, you won't be getting Divines anymore, you won't be getting Mirrors like that easily, but you would still get rewarding things that would be still exciting to run. That's my conclusion. That's all I have to say for today. Please let me know, what do you think? And let's have a conversation about it in the comment section below, or join my Discord and make sure to message me anytime. I'm there for you guys. I really enjoy communicating with my community, and especially since I'm slowly starting to grow, I want to get to know you guys better and the people that view me, and I'm there to listen and I'm there to speak. So thank you guys very much, and see you in the next one, I guess.